Hi guys, welcome to your favorite channel, Absolute Beginners Coding, and we're going to continue learning the CSS right now. So before that, let me open my notepad and let's zoom it a little bit. So we are in Facebook, we are in YouTube, we are in Twitch, we are in Kick, and we are in Instagram and Twitter as well. So Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, and Kick and Instagram, I do have the same self spelling and same name, Absolute Beginners Coding, and in Twitter it is Absolute B Coding. Due to its like 15 characters policy, reduced the beginners to B. So you can follow me everywhere. And right now I'm going live on Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, Kick, and yeah, that's it. So let's continue learning CSS right now, guys. Let's do that. So I think we have learned about positions in the previous class, like static, relative, fixed, absolute, and sticky. So let's like move on right now. Okay, so let's learn about something new. So which is a CSS layout and Z index property. Okay, so let's learn about this. So what's a Z index property? So actually it is used to show the text like before or backward or like in middle. So let me like give you an example so you will have a clear understanding of the same right now. Okay, so let's create an HTML file right there. Let's create a head. Now let's create a title. And what we can do, like add a name to the title. Z. Index. Okay. So let's go to the body right now. Let me create a div class and we give a name of text. So let me create another div class within this. So let me give a name like text2. I mean, yeah. Okay. So we create another one within the same. Okay, so let me give the name to this class as well. Text3. Okay, so what I've done is like I've created a HTML file, as you can see there, and I've created a body and I've created a div file. So within the div class actually. So within the div class, so I've created like two div class within the one. Within the class, I've created like div class text2 and text3 right there. So Let me create a link right there. And let's create a relative path like style sheet. And let me create a href, and let's name it as position z.css. Okay, so you can see I've created a position z css file already. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use a text class with the dot and text. So we have created. What we're going to do is let's add a position to this. So let's like make it as a relative position right there. So let me add another one. And let's create another position right there. And let's make it as relative as well. And let's create a z index. So here comes a z index into the picture right there. So and let's keep it as 1. And let's add a border, height, and margin. So let the border be like 5 pixels solid red. Okay, and let's create a height of 100 pixels, and let's create the width, or let's the margin of around like 15 pixels. Okay, so this is the text 2. Let me like do the same for the text 3 as well. And let's create a position which is absolute. And what we're going to do is let's create a z index, which should be like around 3. Why it's not picking, I don't know. Okay, now it's good. Create a background, and let it be like light coral. Let's create a height for that, and let's create it to be around like 50 pixels right there. Let's create a width right there, so let it be around 50 pixels right there. And let's create a where it should locate, left on the top. Let's say like 50 pixels again, and let's create like top, and like another 50 pixels. So let me create another div here, and let's move it, and let's add a class like text 4. Let's give them a name like text 2, text 3, text 4, and going to the text 4 right now. So we create another position right there. Let's say like absolute, and let's create the z index like 2. Let's create a background like aqua. Let's create a width probably around 35% of the previous one. Let it be like 70% right there. Let's create a left of like around 250 pixels. It should be larger. Let's create a top one of around minus 15 pixels. Create a height of 100 pixels. So you can see that we have created a div element right there, and a div class. Within this div class we have like 3 other div class. So what we're going to do, what we're trying to do here is trying to like show the index property, so like z index. So it can be like in front or center or at the back. So we're gonna show how this is gonna work right now. So let's save this. What I'm gonna trying to do is like, let's create click the go live at the bottom. So probably it should work. So in case it doesn't work, what I have to do is go to the extension and click on the live server and disable it and enable it again, and let's go back, and it should probably work by now. Okay, I don't know what went wrong. Sometimes the live server doesn't actually work. So let me like use it. Okay, so now it's actually working. So here you can see the z index right there. So you can see the text 1. Text 1 is at the top. Let me like add some br. Let's save this. Okay, now it's actually down. So text 1 need not to be shown, so we didn't enter anything. So but we can add something. So here it's the example of z index like that. Here are the examples of Z index. Okay, so let me save this. Now you can see, let me add another PR. Okay, so what happens here is, first the text tool. So what I've done to the text tool is, so I have created a position which is relative. I created an index which is 1. I created a border which is red, solid red, and a height of 100 pixels and 15 pixels. So what happens with that is, so text tool is here with the border, and it's actually in the front, but actually it should be with the real height, which is 100 percentage. And what I'm trying to do is to show how this Z index works. It should be in front, and the 2 should be in front, and text 3 should be in the middle, and text 4 should be in the back. So that's what probably I'm trying to do. Okay, let's continue. The break is over right now. So what we are trying to do with our code is like I'm trying to create three boxes which might show the difference between the z indexes. Let me change the pixels here so that we'll be having an idea about that. Like change to like 2 pixels and 30 will be fine. Then let me like change this to, let me change the position of this. Okay. Let me like save this and let me see that. Okay, we are almost there. Okay, so what happens is you can see that the text 2 is in front and the text 3 is in middle and the text 4 is at the back. So this is how to use the z index. So you can use a z index to make your text in middle or back or front. So that's what I'm trying to show here. Okay, so this is nice now. So you can see the text 1 is at the back, very back, and text 3 is at the middle and text 4 is front. So this is how you can actually change the position of your texts, and you can make it to appear at the front or at the middle or at the back. So this is a use of z index. Like this is second, you can see text 4 is second here, and text 2 is at the first, which is at the, I mean in placing the text 2 is at the back. So that is first, because you think of these threes are like a chocolates. So text chocolate is placed first and text 3 is placed over it and text 4 is placed over it. So you can say that text 1 is at the back and text 3 is at the middle and text 4 is at the front. So this is how you can actually place the text back and forth. So let me add the color to text 1 so that you had an idea. Okay, let me save this. Now you can see that text 1 is at the very back, text 3 is over it, and text 4 is even over the same. So this is the use of z index, guys. You can place the first, place it second, and place it third. Likewise, you also place it like second and place this at third. Let me like save this, and now you can see it perfectly right. So text 1 is at the very back, text 3 is at the middle, and text 4 is at the very front. because we have placed the text 1 at first, text 3 as second, and text 4 as third. So you can say that text 3 is in the middle and text 4 is at the front and text 1 is at the very back. So this is how you place by using z index. It is placed at first, text 2. So since it placed first, it's at the bottom. Text 3 has been placed second. You can see it here. Text 4 has been placed third. So this is how you place it front and fourth, guys, by use of z index. So this is the use of z index in CSS. Okay. So let's see about like overflow. So what are like overflow? Okay. And so there are like a few types of overflow. There are like visible, hidden, and scroll, then auto. So let's see about overflow right now. Let's go back to the Visual Studio Code. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna create a new HTML file so that you can have a greater understanding of the same. Overflow.html, and we create a CSS overflow.css. We go to the overflow HTML right now. We add a HTML tag elements, and let's create a head, and let's create a title inside that. Let's create the name of that, overflow. Let's go back to the body, and let's type something. We like create a paragraph, and it like, this is an example of text overflow in CSS. So let me create an ID, like, let me give me a name like visible, and relatively I give the name to another one. Let me create like hidden, and let me give another name which is scroll. We give another name which is auto. Okay, so let me go to the CSS right now. And let me like create a link. Directive path is style sheet, and href would be overflow.css, and it will connect to the overflow.css right here. Okay, let's add like hash visible, and let's see, let's set the width around 200 pixels, and let's see height around like 65 pixels, around the background color of aqua, and overflow of visible. So let me like do the same to another one. Okay, hidden scroll auto. Okay, so what we're seeing here is what are the different types of like overflow, like visible, hidden, scroll, and auto. Let's see this. Let me click on the file and let's open with live server. So this is an example of text overflow in CSS, which is actually visible, and this is actually the hidden one, and this is scrolled one, and this is a auto, which actually most of the time it will goes to scroll. So since there is not like enough of data, it's actually couldn't able to see. What I would do is I will grab something from wiki real quick, like Apple wiki. So let me grab few texts from there, like from here to here. Let me copy this and let me go back to my VS Code and let me like paste it here. That's actually nice. And let me do it for this as well, and let me do it for this as well, and let me do this here as well. Let me save this. So let me go back to the page and see what's happening. Okay, we have seen a lot here. I think the text sizes are like huge, I guess so. Okay, let me like see that. Okay, this is the actual 100% size. So let me like give some gap between each and everything. So let me add some BR line breaks. Okay, let me like copy this and save it. Let me like copy this. Okay, let me add. Okay, let me like save this. So since it has a huge words, it is like coming out of the box, because I've set the uh, height and width, right? So that's the reason. I think I have to like increase the height and width. Let me like change the width to like 1000, and height might be around 200 pixels, and let me do the same to everything. Now let us check it right now. Okay, so you can see the scrolling, the third one, right? So this is the overflow of scroll, and I think a lot of gap should be there. Let me like increase the height as well, like around 600 or something like that. We save this. Oh, now it's much better, right? Okay, let me add a title to everything. Let me like take it from there. So the first one is visible, right? Let me add a title to that. Nice. And the second one is actually hidden. So guys, I'm gonna end this stream and I will be back in few hours. So make sure to follow me on my uh, other social networking sites like my Facebook, and see this, my name is Absolute Beginners Coding right there. And in YouTube you can also follow me like Absolute Beginners Coding over there as well. On the Twitter, Absolute Beginners Coding. On the Twitch, Absolute Beginners Coding. On the Kick and Instagram, the same name as well. Even the username or like same for the Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, Kick and Instagram. For the Twitter, it's Absolute Beginners, Absolute B Coding. So thank you guys, like make sure to follow me on these social networking sites. I'll be back like few hours later on, so stay tuned guys. Bye bye, take care.